Welcome back to Freshwater Healer. I pray all is well with you guys. Let's take a moment and breathe. I want you guys to remember, every day you will be faced with some type of challenge. So we are continuously healing from something. And when you guys come against something like that, I want you guys to take a moment to reflect, throw it behind you, heal from it, and take your power back. And I want you to do this immediately. You come against something, reflect on it, throw it behind you, heal from it, and take your power back. Amen? Today's message is when someone you thought was a friend, they turn out to be a frenemy. That's the great pretender. That person shows up as a friend, but in reality, an enemy or a rival, a competitor, in other words. Do you know anyone like that? If so, I suggest you run. Let's get started. A frenemy arises when a friendship is strained by underlying rivalry, jealousy, envy, overly competitiveness, greediness, deceitfulness, and often stemming from a perceived threat to one's social standing, success, or relationship. This person is not a team player. This person is not loyal to anyone. And this person is all about self. These people sometimes appear to be a friend, while secretly harboring negative feelings, resentment, and dislike for you. But don't make no mistakes. They have a motive. They have a motive for why they become your friend. They have a desire for something from you. You have something that they want or something that they need for them to become your friend. However, pretending to like you, and it's crazy, they pretend to like you and they do it so well, but their behavior or their action towards you is saying, I don't like you. So they're pretending to like you, and it's kind of strange because they're really convincing. Because when you're around that person, it seems like they like you. But when you get to interacting with them, their behavior is saying they don't like you. And see, they got me with this because I wasn't awakened to that type of action. I'm the type of person, if I don't like you, I don't want to be around you. And if I like you, I'm around you. So, I was just thinking that people were a little bit like me. But I had to learn. See, I wasn't exposed to those type of spirits. So I had to learn. I had to get some experience. But I'm telling you guys about this because if any of you guys are anything like me that have been sheltered, that never really experienced a lot of spirits, you can definitely be fooled by these type of spirits because they are good. They really appear to be your friend. They are so convincing. You would have to be familiar with this disorder to recognize it. So if you're not familiar with this disorder, you'll really be thrown off by it. These type of people, they can kill you and you won't even see it coming. The world calls it a psychopath. A frenemy really do look like a friend. A friend in the normal sense of the word. But the behavior is demonic. They have no regards for others. They will betray your trust in a second. They belittle your success. They gossip about you behind your back, engaging in manipulation. Their toxic and confusing behavior and many other strange things that makes no sense. When I say it's demonic, it implies that it's extremely evil, cruel, diabolical, suggesting hellish force. Now, let's recognize some of these behavior patterns to watch for. Because as I indicated, I didn't know what to look for. I thought it was a little strange. But I just dismissed it as, okay, people are different. But I found out that there's a reason for the madness. Underlying rivalry at work. Indifference. A lack of interest. You know, you're working with someone on a project and you're like, come on, let's do this. And they just don't even have a concern about it. They don't care. They don't care if you guys win at the project or not. Especially if you're at the head of the project. They really don't care about it. Consistently being negative and criticizing. They're against teamwork at all costs. They don't want to work together. They're continuously forming alliances. They run around gossiping about everybody, especially about the person in charge. Discrediting others. This person creates drama, continuously creating confusion, and very delusional. I suggest if you have anyone at work like this, I suggest you release that person immediately, because that person is like a cancer that spreads throughout the operation. So if you have any type of business and you know that you have that type of person in your operation, release them. You think you're working together as a team and you think you're building a team, while that person is sabotaging the entire operation and plotting against you. That is someone you want to release immediately. The next type of thing to look for is someone exhibiting jealousy or envy. What that might look like is they might downplay your success, or they might be passive aggressive with their comments, or they might have subtle jokes criticizing you or your project. They gossip about you. They become excessively critical. They imitate what you're doing. They imitate and they copy it. They're very envious of what you have, and that includes lying and manipulation. And that's why you can't believe anything you hear, because people like that, they run around, they gossip, they lie, they manipulate. That's why you have to know it for yourself. You can't believe what others say, because there's a purpose for lying and manipulating, to make other people look bad while they make themselves look good. Sometimes people like that think that they will win and others will lose, but in actuality, in the end, you don't win when you lie and manipulate. It all comes back and bites you at the end, because I'm a firm believer, you reap what you sow. The other thing to look for is overly competitive people. This person feels that they have to win at all costs. even if they have to bring someone else down to win. And they do that by lying, manipulation, and playing mind games. When a frenemy perceives that you are a threat, like I said, whether you are in a business, in a relationship, or even in your personal life, if they perceive that you are a threat in some way, they might display jealousy, competitiveness, or distrust, often undermining your accomplishments or social standing, and backhanded compliments, gossiping, or trying to isolate you from the group. They want to know the people in your group, but they don't want you to know the people in their group. But they have a reason for knowing the people in your group, because when they're ready to backstab you, they can make up lies and manipulations to the people that you know. So it's a calculated purpose for everything they do. In other words, they don't like you, but they have a purpose for you. So they keep you around to use you. So you better believe when they don't like you. And I never understood why people who don't like you keep you around. But they keep you around for a purpose. Just know, and I tell people this all the time, you don't have to be jealous and envious of anyone. Because what's for you is for you. I believe that. The Bible tells us God is no respecter of person. That's in Acts 10:34. I've always noticed people want what you have, but they don't want to do what you did to get it. They don't want to do the work. Sometimes you have to sacrifice, and sometimes you have to suffer. If Jesus did it, then we have to do it. But some people want to take shortcuts or take it from others. Remember the sayings. There's a saying. You can't fake it forever. Amen? Keep in mind, in your relationships, if your relationship is not serving your highest good, and if not, it's not making you better, then it's making you worse. And at that point, you choose which one you want in your life. And then you have to release it. Once again, if it's not making you better, and you should want to be around people that make you better. You don't want to be around people that tear you down all the time, that bring confusion in your life, that tear down your self-esteem, that makes you feel worthless. You don't want to be around those type of people. You want to be around people that make you feel good about yourself and make you be a better person. There will always be warning signs or red flags to be aware of. Be vigilant. You know, sometimes we like people so much that we just ignore the signs. Don't ignore the signs. Take your life serious. Be serious about your life. So I say be vigilant and discerning of the signs. Learn the signs. Just know, we are living in the last days, guys. The last days is marked as a period of difficult times. 2 Timothy chapter 3, 1 through 7 says, that in the last days, people will be lovers of themselves. We are seeing that right now. They'll be lovers of money and pleasure. They will be disobedient, ungrateful, and unholy. We are living in the last days. If you don't care about you and care about your mental health and your well-being, no one else will. My brother and sister, you, yes, I say it all the time. It's time for you to wake up. Friendships should be about an equal exchange. Not all the time. And it's not always going to be that way. But a healthy friendship should be consistent. It should be mutual care and support. It should be respect, trust, loyalty, and you should feel safe in a friendship. And it should be about positivity. And if it's not about those things, if you don't have those characteristics in a relationship or in your friendship, you should be aware. Maybe you have a frenemy. And if you have a frenemy, you should really be concerned. Because the frenemy could stab you in the back and you won't even see the knife coming. So I suggest you reevaluate your relationships, reevaluate your friendship, reevaluate the people you have around you. Amen? I want to read you guys just a short lesson that I learned. And it was based on the mindset of an individual. I found out that most people really don't want to hear truth, or they're not ready for truth. You see, truth brings on change, and change is not easy. Change is scary, but change is necessary. Change is growth, and growth is good. A friend that cares and loves you will sit you down and tell you the raw, unapologetic truth about yourself. Because it takes courage to tell someone the hard truth about themselves. However, a true friend will risk your wrath, which is your anger, and do it anyway for love. Especially if it means saving your life. Even if the friend becomes offended by the truth. And sometimes people do get offended when you tell them the truth. And sometimes they may never speak to you again. But that's okay. You'll take the risk because you love that friend enough to tell them the truth. However, the friend that laughs in your face, talk behind your back, and tell you how great you are at all times, and tell you what you want to hear all the time, and become that yes person in your life, to you, that's a friend. Because that's your mindset. That's your normal. But you see, not really. That friend don't care enough about you to argue with you. Because see, it takes your energy to argue with someone. You have to care to argue with someone. And when you don't really care about somebody like that, you think to yourself, I don't really care like that, so I'm not going to argue. That's their life. That friend don't care enough to risk your wrath. They don't care enough for you to get angry with them, because most of the time they want something from you, so they don't want you to get angry with them. That friend really don't care if you get better. They want you to stay the way you are. If you're dysfunctional, they like that because they tend to get more from you if you're dysfunctional. It serves them. Proverbs 27:6 says, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, who corrects out of love and concern. But the kisses of an enemy are deceitful, because they serve his hidden agenda." You see, most people want their issues to stay hidden. If it's in the open, then they would have to deal with it. They would have to change it or heal it. So in that case, a frenemy works out great for some people who don't like authentic friendship. But for me, I want a friend who will help me become my highest self, and I, in return, will help them do the same. You should want a friend who will tell you the truth when you are messing up. And you should want a friend who loves you enough to take your anger, but yet tell you the truth. You should respect that friend. Amen? Until next time, guys, God bless you, and I love you.